Hello, Myron. It's great to see you. Thanks for taking the time to speak to me today. You are spoken of and thought of very fondly here in Santa Cruz in our Trinity family context. So it's good to see you, and yeah, thanks for taking the time. First question, Myron. What have you guys been up to as a family since you left Bolivia?
Yeah, I think if I was to use a metaphor, it'd be drinking out of a fire hose. There's just been a lot of stuff coming at us, as I'm sure you know, from having changed contexts and ministry context and stuff like that. There's just always so much adjusting that you do, and so much effort you have to put into stuff. So we've been super busy, but I would say overall it's been really good. I am now rector of the Anglican parish of St. Paul in the Diocese of Edmonton in Alberta, Canada. And I started with that pretty quickly after we got back. We spent a summer on sort of a mini home assignment, visiting churches and so on, sort of wrapping up our ministry. And in that time, I was making application to a bunch of different places, different churches. I think there was 20 in conversations, and just really felt the Lord directing us here to this place, which is a real evangelical parish in the Anglican Church of Canada. And yeah, it's in the same area. In fact, it's about a kilometer away from the church that we were in before we came down to Bolivia. So it's an area that our family is quite familiar with. And so I started in there, and then Jody worked for a year and now has returned to university. She's at the University of Alberta doing the Doctor of Music in sort of a double concentration in vocal performance and choral conducting, which is really something she launched into and developed a real love for when she was in Santa Cruz. And I'm sure many people remember her Santa Cruz International Choir, and she worked with the choir out in Santiago de Chiquitos, as well as the Philharmonica. So, yeah.
That's great.
And then our kids we have Abby living with us, and she's just finished her third year in the honors program at University of Alberta in classics, and she's focusing on archaeology. So she's doing trips to Greece and to Italy and doing archaeological digs and things like that. Bella is wrapping up right now. Next month in June, she'll finish her grade 12 year, and she lives with us. And then Sophia is doing international study or international relations at University of Calgary down in Calgary. Wow. Although she's home with us right now for the summer. So.
Well, that's great. International relations was my undergrad at St. Andrews, as it happened.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh,
that's very cool.
So they sound as well studied and well traveled as yourself. Chips off the old block.
Well, I definitely, without a doubt, their time was very formative for them in Santa Cruz, and she really has a passion for Latin America and wants to sort of focus, whatever career she has afterwards on that. So. Yeah, very cool.
And it was great for us to see Abby over Christmas and New Year as well.
Right, of course, yeah. Yeah.
So what do you guys, when you look back on your time in Santa Cruz, I mean, what are some of the things that you maybe miss more than anything else?
Well, without a doubt, everywhere you go, it's the people that really make the place. And the relationships that we have down there, we still miss those people dearly, wish we could be with them. Jody was bitterly disappointed that she couldn't come down in April here. She had actually plane tickets bought. Part of her project for her doctoral project is focusing on the music of the people in the Misiones Jesuiticas in the Chiquitanía. Yeah. So she was planning a trip back there and wanted to see everybody. Couldn't do that. So definitely the people, I would say first and foremost, we love all you guys and miss all you. That's the thing we miss the most. But also, I think having moved back to Canada, we absolutely miss the weather. Totally miss the weather. Today, it's a beautiful spring day. And I think the high is 11. and we are ecstatic because it's 11 and sunny. Overnight lows, around 0, 1 degrees, and that's kind of normal for this time of year. But the culture, and yeah, it's hard to. People will often ask, so what do you miss the most about Bolivia? And apart from the things that I just mentioned, the weather and people, there's a kind of just the way of living down there. There's just something about it that, I can't put a finger on it. Oh, it's not this, it's not that. It's just things, how life is. And so I would say it's made a huge impact on us, and we definitely miss it. And that kind of sense of adventure that you have as an expat, being in a foreign country, and figuring life out and the challenges that come with that. But there's also a sense in which it's kind of nice just to sort of be off of that a little bit too. So,
indeed. Yeah, I was talking to your good friend Mr. Longard the other day.
Oh yeah.
And we've actually had a bit of a cold front in the last week or so. I've loved it. But
describe weather temperatures as a cold front.
Yes.
Just for context, what would it be?
Oh,
highs of what?
I mean, probably a low of 15 Celsius.
Yeah. Yeah. Your lows are higher than our highs.
Oh yeah.
And for us, this is great.
Yeah. He was infuriated. Spoken like a true Albertan. Anyway, so
that's awesome.
Speaking of Alberta, here in Santa Cruz, a lot of us are literally stuck in our houses.
Yeah.
Loads of markets are closed. Very few businesses are open. How are things during this season for you guys up there?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's pretty weird and pretty odd. We've closed down all essential businesses. All non-essential businesses have been closed down, but they're opening up again next week, or actually this week. They're starting to open things up a bit. We've not meeting in church. I'm live streaming our services from our parish. So everything's just a bit odd. And it of course creates more work for people in my situation, because I can't just do the thing that you always do. I still have everything that I normally do, except I have to figure out the technology. And I don't have a big staff. We're not a huge parish. I don't know tech very well. And you have to manage all these other things on top of the anxiety that everybody else just sort of has because of this thing. But I would say, we're in a pretty good place in the world for us to weather a thing like this, where we don't have high population densities. We have a universal health care, we have very proactive governments that cooperate at all the different levels, from federal and down. Like, for example, both Sophia and Abigail work while they go to school, but they lost all their jobs. I mean, the government it's almost better for them because, they have part-time jobs, which means they can't always guarantee their hours. But now they just get paid an average number of hours per month, which means they always can bank on certain amount of money coming in. And so we're fortunate to be in a place that is well organized and takes care of people. So
that's fantastic.
All in all, we're doing pretty well, but it's getting old. I can't imagine what it's like being in Santa Cruz right now, but even for us, it's getting a bit old.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was finding just today, just thinking about it, and generally, we're kind of used to it. It's kind of a new normal, if I can use that hackneyed phrase. But man, it's there are just some days when you just think how soul crushing this is, just to
can't imagine
in person. It's brutal.
Yeah, and on top of the paro that you had, I mean, my heart just goes out to all you guys down there. Yeah. I've been through the, paros and things like that, but never this back to back and for this long period of time. It just can't imagine.
Yeah, the way of things up there sounds quite healthy and quite nice. So yeah,
we're able to get out. We're able to use our cars, and we're able to go for long walks. Like, we live 2 blocks from what we call the River Valley, which is a large network of trails through forests and stuff. We're fortunate.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Myron, how can we, as a church at this time, how can we be praying for you? I guess at this season in particular, but also in general for you guys?
Yeah. We could use a ton of prayer, obviously. Wisdom, I guess, for me in particular, as you know, I look to pastor a parish in the middle of this, and I don't know what I'm doing, and there's a lot of uncertainties around the future and how we're going to meet and reopen and all that stuff. So that's one thing in particular. Also, for Jody in her program, funding's important. We're not made out of money, and it's uncertain now how she was actually teaching at the university this past year, which helped pay for her tuition almost completely. But now we're not sure what's going to happen in the fall because they don't know if they're even going to have classes, and if they do, how they're going to look, and if it's going to be online. So, that's also something important. And I think our kids are a major reason why we're back here and not in Santa Cruz right now. And that God would continue to look after them and all the details of their lives as they become young adults and move into the world and start to branch out on their own and have, things that they need to do like school and work and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I would put out there.
Okay. And above all, I'll be praying that you get the chance to go back someday to the most beautiful country in the world, which is, of course, Scotland.
Well, that would do me well if you could pray for that.
For sure. All right. Well, Myron, thanks so much for taking the time to do this. Just have you any final words you'd like to share with the congregation? Any last words, as they say in other places?
I hope these aren't the last words I ever speak, and not even the last words I ever speak to you folks at Trinity. But we love you guys. We miss you. Wish you guys all the best in this time. Our prayers are with you. One of the things as I've been prepping for sermons this week, I guess I was just really impressed. If this is something that God can use in your life, maybe that would be great. But just that our situation in Scripture is not what defines us. It's not the most absolutely decisive thing for us. It's so easy for me and for us to get caught, sort of like Peter looking at the waves and think, hey, this is the most decisive thing for me, this thing that's out there that's threatening, or even my own understanding of myself, and I have to figure myself out, and I've got to figure a life out, or what. These things aren't the most decisive things for us. If anything's true from Scripture, what's absolutely fundamental and fundamentally true in the world, the most real thing is that God has acted for us in Jesus. So I would just leave that with you. Stick to Jesus. Hold on to him, even when you can't figure life out, and even when it's hard and it's tough. Yeah, hang on to Jesus, and you'll weather it one way or the other, because no matter what, you're holding on to the source of life. So that's all I got for you guys. Love you guys and miss you guys.
That is more than enough, Myron. And the feeling is assuredly mutual. And I can assure you that our prayers go with you guys as well.
Well, thanks, Craig. It's been a joy to do this. I had never actually spoken with you before, heard lots of great things about you. And of course, it's always a joy to hear that broad brogue. So, yeah, hope we can do this. At least you and I can chat some more.
That would be great. Absolutely. Maybe we can. Maybe you can say the stuff you really thought about Santa Cruz in private.
I'll tell you what I really think.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks, Myron. Take care.
All right.
And
cheers, pal.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.